So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to my Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite full review. So I've had this device for about 2 weeks now, and I did an unboxing, and here are some of the key specs that matter with a Tab S6 Lite. They include a 10.4-inch TFT display, and it also does come with 1200 by 2000 pixels on here for a PPI of 224. Also, on the back here, you will see yourself an 8 megapixel camera. On board is capable of up to 1080p recording, 4 gigabytes of RAM in this baby, and also a 7040 milliamp hour battery. I'll talk about what I've experienced with the battery life later in the review. It also does come with an included S Pen stylus that works perfectly with this tablet and does have similar software that you'll find on something like a Samsung Galaxy Note phone here. And it's one of the main draws as to why I purchased the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite is the pen here. Now this tablet does come in at around $349, and you could do trade-ins on Samsung.com as always to get it even cheaper. I can see this one going on a holiday sale later this year for something like $275, $299. So keep an eye on upcoming sales for this one. This is definitely a product that would fit into that category. Okay guys, so let's begin with the build. First of all, this tablet is pretty light, 1.03 pounds, so just a hair over a pound. So very light, easy to carry around with you. Of course, it's a tablet. The second thing is that the back feels very nice, like aluminum, feels very premium for the money. It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. Also, I do like how that camera bump is very thin. It doesn't stick out much at all. And also, I just think that for this money here, it just feels way more than its price. It feels almost like a $600, $700 device. So they really did a good job, I think, with just the feel of the body, especially for $349. It does not feel cheap whatsoever. It doesn't really flex at all either. You'll see I'm trying to bend it. No real flex here. Pretty sturdy device here in the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is definitely a thumbs up because you're not getting like ripped off for getting the cheaper tablet, getting some cheap plastic or something like that. It feels good. Okay, so some people want to know how strong is the magnets on the pen? How does it connect to the tablet? Does it hold on sturdy, and which side? So on the right side under, you can see right here, the power and the volume buttons. We do have a good, it locks on really nice right there. So that's the best place I found on this tablet where it does lock on. Now keep in mind, if you get some cases for this third party, they do have slots for the S Pen, so you don't even have to do this if you don't want. Now on this side, on the left side, you'll see it does lock on, but not very nicely. So I couldn't find a side on this area where it would lock on perfectly on the tablet. So definitely that right side under the power and the volume buttons. Now I also found that if I place it over here flat on the back, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, the pen will kind of lock on somewhere down here. It's like right here by the AKG logo. It'll kind of lock on right there as well and not go anywhere. So those are some of the best places I found for the pen. Also up here at the top near the camera, it'll also go right there and lock on pretty nicely and not go anywhere. But that's kind of probably not the ideal location for the pen. So definitely the best place that it does lock on is right here, right below the power button and the volume rockers. Okay guys, so let's move on to the display. Now this is a TFT panel. This is not even an IPS. So what does this mean for you if you're buying this tablet? Well, you're taking a hit on display. This is where Samsung saved some money on this tablet. This is how they saved you the money. They went with a very cheaper quality display compared to their OLED or QLED like panels. So if we go to Samsung Internet right here, you'll see that the text looks fine and all, and it's all easy to read because it's 224 PPI. The text is plenty sharpened up, I think, for this price point. However, when you start to look at this tablet on the viewing angles, they're atrocious. So this tablet does have pretty atrocious viewing angles. However, how often are you going to be reading on your tablet in that angle? And I would gladly trade some weaker viewing angles just to have the S Pen and to have this good software that comes with this tablet, the S Pen software and the Samsung features and stuff like that, just for some a little minor annoyances on certain viewing angles. It's not like you're using your tablet on that angle. Keeping that in mind, what do I like about this display? Well, I like that this display is very wide here. So if you're holding it and watching a video, you get a very kind of full screen like experience. So let's go ahead and watch a video. And you could see the black bars on this are very minimal on this display, unlike on the iPad where you have thicker black bars when watching video. You can definitely enjoy movies and video on here, no problem on this tablet. Again, of course though, if you are looking on different angles, it will wash out a bit. Now up here, if we scroll down, you also do have dark mode on this display. Doesn't look quite as good as an OLED because it's not, you know, pitch black like an OLED, but still it's very usable, definitely. Now, one thing I didn't like about this display is the blue light filter. It just looks kind of green. It doesn't look very nice. And the blue light filter is not, you know, you don't have the ability to change its levels. So usually if I go into blue light filter, I could change the levels. Samsung didn't give us the option here on this tablet. So maybe they can do that in an update. I'm not sure, but the blue light filter was not very nice on this one. Now, talking about how smooth is this display right here, it's pretty smooth. I'm not gonna say it's as smooth as an iPad, for example, but it's definitely very smooth. And I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of smooth for the Samsung software, all the features that you can get with the Samsung experience. So if you like the features, the customization, just kind of how the Samsung UI works, this display, while it's not the smoothest out there, it's not 120 hertz, it's 60 hertz, it still runs, it's functional, it runs. It's not gonna bog you down day to day. It might, a web page might load a little bit slower than some other products. You know, your zooming, pinch to zooming might not be the smoothest. You can see it's a little bit delayed from my pinch to zoom, but still, I mean, it's not a slow, terrible experience. It's actually quite functional day to day. It reminds me very much of like a Galaxy A51 for the tablet world. So in conclusion, not a super punchy display, but still enjoyable nonetheless, because it still has a pretty sharp resolution on board, and you can still enjoy media. The aspect ratio is good, so it's kind of like a cheaper version of the S5e display, to be quite honest. So we spent most of our time discussing the display because I think that's the most important part about a tablet. You using the display, you're buying it for the big display. Let's talk a little bit about the software. Well, you're getting One UI 2.1 on board here, along with Android 10. Now, one thing that worries me a little bit about the software here is that the S5e, for example, I'm still not on the latest versions of the software here, not quite yet. So these tablets don't get updated quite as frequently as Surface or iPad competitors out there. So if you're looking for tablets to get updated very, very frequently, this is probably going to be one of the worst options, to be quite honest. But again, they still definitely do get around to it. It just seems a little bit even later than their phones on the tablet front, at least on this cheaper tablets like this. So don't expect software updates first in line, but the software very much like a Galaxy phone. So if you like Galaxy phones and you just want it blown up, you want more productivity on the bigger display, you'll definitely like that. Also included in here is something similar to like the Galaxy Fold, and that's the multi-window support. Very easily, you can access the multi-window on here just by swiping over from that edge right there. So we'll go like that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll let's tap Chrome, for example. And then we can go ahead and have the Samsung internet there as well. And keep this in mind, it's not just that, you can also do a pop view window right here for extra productivity. So let's say you need to do a calculation. We'll drag that to the middle and check this out. Now you can be scrolling over here. Maybe you're trying to calculate something over here, and then you can go ahead and just do your calculations. You can also resize this window. And that's not all. You can also go ahead and grab something else. Let's grab the phone dialer, for example, and you could bring another pop view in there. So yes, you can really get productive on this tablet right here for the Samsung device here, the S6 Lite. So this is not super light in terms of what it can do. It is light in terms of its weight, and it's light in terms of its spec, like the processor and things like that, but it's not light in terms of the productivity aspect of it, including the S Pen. And so if we're looking at the S Pen, we can go ahead and click this button, and you could see we have things like Create Note, View All Notes, Smart Select, Screen Write, live messages on here, just like you'll get on the phones. We'll do S6 Lite. And you could see that if I go ahead and hit done, you could see right there, S6 Lite, we can do the live message. Now, also within this S Pen software, we do have things like Screen Write. So it'll take a screenshot and it'll let you go ahead and write all over the screen or circle something, highlight something you need to get outside of. Check out these wallpapers. See, like you can do stuff like that here. Now we also have different features like Translate in the pen-up community, which is similar to the Galaxy Note phone. If you like drawing and coloring and stuff like that, you can use your S Pen to go ahead and color in different things. It's very relaxing at night to be quite honest. You can color it in manual, or you can use a paint bucket to go ahead and paint in the individual layers. Now over here, you can go to home and see what other people have done. Pretty nice. You can do some live drawings, pretty sweet. And you can do some challenges as well. So there's a whole community just for this tool right here on your S6 Lite. And one of my favorite things on here is the ability to write on calendars. So here we are in November, for example. Maybe I got something important coming up on Thanksgiving, important. So I just want to write it there, and I could go ahead and have a note right on my calendar. I mean, I love that productivity aspect right there. Very nice if you care about productivity. Now over here, you can add to shortcuts, and you can do different things. You can place different things in the S Pen suite of software. So lots going on here for this tool. Amazing tool here for the S6 Lite. Okay guys, so speed. Exynos 9611. This is not the fastest CPU on board, but at least it's a Samsung CPU with the Samsung hardware. So pretty much their chip on their hardware running their software, except for the Android software. They're running the Samsung skin though. So it runs pretty well. I don't have a major issue with the tablet. The gestures are pretty smooth. There's a little bit of delay you can see right there, like when you're flipping. You'll see this is where it's a little bit slower, kind of slow right there, but it's not gonna, again, it's not going to be a deal breaker for this tablet, especially considering, you know, when you're buying a tablet in this price range, you're probably not expecting the top tier premium performance. And if you want better performance, honestly, just get the iPad. But if you do not want the iPad and you want all these features that the Samsung offers, I think it's worth sacrificing a little bit of performance. It's like the A51. The performance on the A51 is not the best, but that phone is still selling like crazy because it's still a good value, and that's how I feel about the performance on this one. And next up is the storage. You can see right here, there is a slot for micro SD card expansion, so you can expand your storage on here. This one is a 64 gig with 4 gigs of RAM. You can also get this thing with 128 gig as well, so you can get more storage on it if you want, but I honestly don't think you're going to need more than the 64. As long as you just expand it with the memory card, you probably won't need more on this tablet. So good value there with the storage. So I have stereo speakers coming out this side right here and also over here. Now they're pretty loud actually. Having a tablet like this with a pen to get productive, I think the fact that it's really wide, like side to side, would be very good. They're not the loudest out there, but they're actually louder than the Galaxy Book devices as well. Like I just picked up the Galaxy Book. I will be covering that soon, one of the flexes, so stay tuned for that. But they're actually louder than that device over there. So, I mean, these are pretty decent. They do not beat the S5e, which had 4 of them. One up here, one down here, one up here, one down here. And they do not beat some other tablets out there, but they're still pretty acceptable for this price. Also, I want to mention there's no fingerprint sensor on here. There's no true face unlock with like super, security. So if you do face unlock, you're just using the camera. I do want to talk about the battery life on this device as well before we wrap up this review. A lot of people are probably wondering, how good is the battery life? It's pretty amazing on this tablet. We're talking over 11 hours of battery life, and that's straight usage. That's not just the device being off and on. You could use this thing for like over 11 hours and then it will finally die. So this is definitely an all-day device right here. And part of the reason why I think this is because it's not the fastest. It doesn't have the sharpest display. It's not OLED and stuff like that. So I just think that because of these factors, lower performance, lower spec, you're getting better battery life on this device. And so let's talk a little bit about the cameras. So the camera on the front and the back, let's just put it this way, they're not good. They're not amazing. They're tablet cameras. Do you expect professional cameras on anything but an iPad Pro at this point? I don't know. But these tablet cameras are acceptable for tablet cameras. If you need to take a couple pictures of documents or something like that, they'll be fine. But don't use these for your main pictures. You can see out here in good sunlight, I even had struggled to get some good detail on the photo. Just absolutely not great cameras on here. So I would just use these for things you need to do, like take a document or something, take a picture of a document or a check you're uploading to your bank or something like that. Like, this is just not going to be something you're taking all your memories on. One thing I do like is that the front facing camera is not bad for doing like video chat and stuff like that. It actually looks pretty sharp compared to some webcams you'll find on like laptops. So pretty good here for staying home and doing, video chat and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the rear camera when it comes to that 8 megapixel and doing, top tier production not happening on this one. Oh, we've arrived at the conclusion of this video. There's no more to discuss, I think, about this device to kind of help you decide if it's going to be yours. I mean, there's a lot more that goes on with this tablet. Like, it's very customizable. We could have covered every feature within this tablet, but if you like Samsung phones, you'll like this tablet. If you want a Samsung tablet with some advanced features over here that you just don't get on certain other tablets, like an S Pen included right in the box, this can be a great value. If you can sacrifice not having the absolute best display on the market, but still want a functional display with good productivity software, and you're not an iPad fan, this one will be strong value for you. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, this tablet. Are you picking one up? Did you already get one? Let us know your experience down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well, stay safe, and peace.